Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our exciting webinar. I don't know about you, but when I hear that song, I feel so happy. This is a great way to start the webinar today. Um, we're so excited to present to you Beyond the Book, Strengthening Families with Library Resources. As you know, this is our third installment, and we're so thrilled to have you here with us today. And as always, you know that we love to hear who's in the room with us. So please let us know who you are by typing your name, what county you're from, if you're a parent, professional, an educator, a community provider, or maybe you are all the things. We love to know who you are. And welcome. So I'm going to just give it about a few seconds just to see who's here with us. Welcome, Ellen. And as you make your introductions, I would like to start with an icebreaker question. What are you currently reading? And I'll go ahead and share. I just started to read again. I've read this book before, but it's very timely. Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. How the courage to be vulnerable transforms the way we live, love, parent, and lead. And I feel that when you read something a second or third time, it will hit differently for you depending on where you are in your growth. So I encourage you to write in the chat, what are you reading? So we could get curious and see. Oh, I see a lot of good entries here. Let me take a look here in the chat. Okay. Awesome. Sky Full of Elephants. Harlem Rhapsody. Awesome. Well, we know Lanisha loves reading. Atomic Habits. Okay, there you go, Tara. Awesome. Welcome, Elaine from Casa. The Turner House by Angela. Ooh, okay. Wonderful. Keep them coming, guys. We really want to know what you're reading, and we want to be able to add that to our own resources so that folks can have an opportunity to expand on their reading library. And if you're not reading anything now, no pressure. Some people like to read articles, anything that is of interest to you, it's fine. If you are curious about reading a book, then maybe this will encourage you to do so. We know many people are into the Kindle books, audio, whatever that looks like. But the most important thing is to feed your mind, right? To really continue to put those good things for your brain health. Awesome. All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, I love that, Corey. When I Was Puerto Rican by Esmeralda Santiago. Beautiful. All right. All right. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so before we dive in, I really want to paint a picture for you. I want you to imagine a world where libraries are not just a place to borrow books, but they're vibrant hubs of support and resources for families and communities. And today, we're going to explore how libraries play a crucial role in strengthening family ties, supporting students, and enriching our communities. Plus, we have two expert panelists, Diana Price from Burlington County Library and Corey Fleming for Patterson Public Library. And we're really, really excited to have them here with us today. So before I turn this over, I just want to go over some really quick housekeeping, only because we want to have a smooth session. So one is we want you to engage. We want you to be active in the chat. So, and we have a Q&A portion of the chat. So please, if you have any questions, post them in there and we'll do our very best to answer them throughout the webinar because we want this to be engaging and meaningful for you. Also, this webinar is being recorded, so if you miss anything, you have an opportunity to rewatch it. We will put the link to visit our website to access that recording. If you have any tech issues, such as you're not hearing the presenter, any sound, anything to that regard, just let us know in the chat and our team will be happy to assist you. Also, very important because presenters are virtual. They can't see who's in the room. If you can just hit your react button, we love to see a couple of hearts or likes so that the presenter knows that there's something they're saying that's landing. And so if you can do that now, just to ensure that the reaction button is working on our screens. And I see I have a lot of reactions here. Thank you so much. This is very important to us because it's the only way we know that you're hearing and you're enjoying the content. Okay. So I do want to say this. This webinar, if you're looking for resources, as a parent for your child's learning, or you're an educator looking for ways to engage with families, or maybe you're that community provider or a member of the community, you're interested in strengthening those connections, right? Family connections. I will tell you this, there is something for everyone in this audience today. So I'm excited. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my colleague and friend, Dr. Lanisha Mako Ridley. Lanisha?
Good morning, everyone. As Jeanette said, my name is Dr. Lanisha Mako Ridley. I am the other co-director for the New Jersey Family Engagement Hub. Just to let you know a little bit about myself, I am a mom of a 5-year-old who happens to be in kindergarten, and I am a book lover. I love, love, love to read. So anytime you see me, I usually have a book in my backpack, a book in my pocketbook, or wherever I am. I might even be reading a book on my phone. So this webinar is so exciting for me because I'm able to share information about something that I love to do. And now I'm going to turn it over to Kim to introduce herself.
Thank you, Lanisha. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Rivers. I am the training coordinator for our Family Engagement Hub, and I am a wife and a parent of 3 now young adults. So my youngest is a senior in high school. Yay! And when I think about reading, I often find myself reading a lot of articles. I am passionate about going online. I see something come across my screen, if it's science, if it's arts and education, if it's about plays, about movies. I read a lot because I want to know what's new, what's innovative, what's happening in the world. So much excitement in terms of things that we can learn about. So I spend a lot of my time reading those. And now I'm going to pass it over to Tara.
Thanks so much, Kim. Hello, everyone. I am Tara Semanek. I am the Southern Regional Family Engagement Specialist. I have 3 children in middle school, and we all love the library. My son loves going to the library for their interactive stations for imaginative play. And our favorite book is by child author Eric Litwin called Pete's Got Class. I'm going to pass it to Faith.
Thank you, Tara. Good morning, everyone. My name is Faith Victor. I'm the Northern Regional Family Engagement Specialist, and reading is fundamental in my life and growing up. My parents made it a goal and a mission that every summer we would read books before we could even watch TV or even go for summer activities. So reading is fun, and reading should always be fun. And I hope you enjoy this webinar. And I will pass it to Alexis, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alexis Pratt. I'm the Community Engagement Specialist. While I'm not currently reading anything, one of the books that I loved reading as a child were Nancy Drew books.
Alexis, I love Nancy Drew, by the way. Love it. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about the New Jersey Family Engagement Hub. The Hub is the product of a grant that SPAN wrote and received a year and a half ago. This is a 5-year grant from the U.S. Department of Education for us to become a statewide family engagement center. So the Hub, as we say here, we're a centralized information center. We're a place where educators, families, and community-based organizations can find out information about family engagement. Our goal is to enhance family engagement in public schools throughout New Jersey. And we're doing that by creating collaborations and bridges between educators, families, and community-based organizations, with the ultimate goal of enhancing the success of our students. We're doing this by providing tools and strategies through in-person workshops, our online webinar series, such as the one today, as well as empowering the voice of our students. We need to know what they need in order for them to be successful. And now I'm going to turn it over to Kim to talk a little bit more about SPAN.
Thank you, Lanisha. And so let's talk about who SPAN is. SPAN is a parent center. There's one of us in every state, so we serve New Jersey. And our organization is all about providing information, technical assistance, resources, and support for families. Our mission is to empower and to inform and to support not just families, but anyone like professionals who are interested in the healthy development and education of children and youth. We have over 45 programs that cover everything from education, health, mental health, human services, childcare, child welfare. We extend to over 40 national, regional, and local programs, and we're funded by government agencies, foundations, and fee-for-service contracts. So if you want to know more about what we do at SPAN, please visit our website at spanadvocacy.org. And now I'm going to pass it over to Faith.
Okay, thank you. Someone once said, a library card is the start of a journey, a passport to countless journeys. A library card opens the door to endless knowledge like a passport to new worlds. Books offer adventure, learning, new perspectives, expanding the mind, and sparking imagination. With a library card, anyone can explore, grow, discover limitless possibilities. It's not just a card, it's the key to a lifetime of knowledge and opportunity. Let's start from the beginning, the origin of the library. Libraries were originated in ancient civilization as centers for record keeping and knowledge preservation. Mesopotamian libraries stored clay tablets with laws and historical records. Now, the concept of lending books or Babylones began in Babylon, where texts were shared among scholars. Over time, libraries evolved into hubs of learning, with the Library of Alexandria becoming a symbol of vast knowledge collection. Libraries are cornerstones of knowledge and culture. Early civilizations recognized the value of preserving information, leading to the establishment of the first proto-libraries. So early record keeping. In ancient times, records were inscribed on clay tablets, often stored in temples or palaces. These spaces function as both archives and libraries. Babylonian roots. One of the earliest known libraries was found in the temple at Nippur. Rooms filled with clay tablets suggest a well-organized system for storing knowledge. Who needs a librarian and a cataloger when you have Google and the internet? Well, who needs a teacher when you have Wikipedia? And who needs a doctor when you have WebMD? Just as Wikipedia doesn't replace the teacher and WebMD doesn't replace the doctor, in the same way, Google search and internet doesn't replace the librarian and cataloger, said Salman Haider. Now, nowadays, we can also add or say, who needs a librarian or cataloger when we have AI, artificial intelligence, and ChatGPT. The world around us is changing. However, don't allow the changes of the world to take away the value of a librarian and the library. Just like teachers do more than Wikipedia and doctors do more than WebMD, librarians and catalogers do more than Google and artificial intelligence. The internet has a lot of information, but experts make sure it's correct, it's useful, and easy to find. They help people sort through too much information and give advice that search engines can't. The internet is helpful, but it cannot replace the knowledge and judgment of trained professionals. The purpose of the library. It's to provide equitable access to information, support lifelong learning, and foster a love for reading and discovery. The objectives of the objectives of the library are enhancing student achievement, strengthening family engagement, support educators, and community organizations. The role in society, libraries serve as hubs for education, collaboration, and cultural enrichment. So educationally, libraries provide resources for learning, research, and skill development, supporting academic growth and critical thinking. Technology. Libraries offer access to computers, the internet, and digital tools, helping users navigate technology and bridge the digital divide. Community building. Libraries act as community hubs, hosting programs, events, and providing spaces for connection, collaboration, and engagement. Health and wellness. Libraries promote health and wellness by offering the resources on mental and physical health, hosting wellness programs, and providing a safe, supportive environment for individuals.
Thank you, Faith. So now let's talk a bit about the librarian. I don't think that we think about the librarians as much as we should. Who are they? Well, a librarian is someone that works in a library, is trained in the organization and running of libraries, and who's in charge. And as already stated, AI, which is very popular right now, can't fully replace the human elements, such as empathy and critical thinking and personalized service. March is National Reading Month. So we really want you to take a moment sometime this month and go in and visit your local public library and have a chat with the librarian. See what they have to offer. And in case you can't get there, we are going to talk with our two very special guests right now. I'd like to introduce our panelists for the day. We have Miss Diana Price. Miss Price is from the Burlington County Library Systems. She is the educator and school services librarian within the West Hampton Public Library. And then from the North New Jersey in Passaic County, we have Mr. Corey Fleming, and he is the director of the Patterson Free Public Library. And he's over 20 years of experience in legal, governmental, special academic, and public libraries. And he is also on the executive board of the New Jersey Library Association and Library Link New Jersey Cooperative. So, Mr. Fleming and Miss Price, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. And I'm going to ask some questions so that we can learn more about who you are and what libraries do. So I'll start with Mr. Fleming. And the question is, what role do you think libraries play in fostering a sense of community and belonging?
Good morning. I think libraries are vital in as a community institution. We serve as a community gathering place, community meeting space. We provide, access to equitable access to information and other resources to our residents. We support various levels of learning throughout our cities and our communities. We provide workshops, any kind of literacy, digital, family, financial literacy. We specialize in services for all of our citizens. So I think that libraries play a vital role in a sense of community and belonging for the people that we serve.
Thank you. Thank you. And Miss Price, same question. What role do you think libraries play?
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Kind of going off of what Corey said, libraries are some of the last standing free gathering spaces in our societies and in our communities. And we provide a lot of varied information, programming going from 0 months up until you can't get to the library anymore. Programs for kids, teens, adults. We have emerging adult librarians now. So it's really every age group, every demographic, everybody is welcome here. And giving that not just the free information, the access to information, but ensuring that libraries are warm and welcoming and open to absolutely everybody. It's a really kind of special place.
And on that note, you talk about programs and services. We always talk here about family engagement. Can you share some of your innovative programs or services that your library offers to support and increase families' engagement?
Sure. I don't really know if this is particularly innovative. I think most libraries have programs like this. It's just whether or not their communities are well informed about them. But when it comes to family engagement, one of my favorite things to bring up is story times. We have baby times, toddler times, and preschool times. And it's a really special place to come and let kids learn how to socialize in groups, especially post-COVID. A lot of kids that are 5, 6 years old now in preschool story times and maybe some of our much younger other kinds of programming didn't get the same kinds of opportunities when they were infants. So we like to make sure that they are getting the social interaction that they need, but maybe potentially even more importantly, parents are able to connect with other parents, that nobody feels isolated and that they're able to build a community within the community we exist in for free. A lot of storytime programs, children's entertainment are behind some kind of paywall. And so opening that access up to all families, letting moms, dads, other kinds of guardians hang out after baby times where there are toys put out for the kids to kind of learn to interact with each other and get a lot of that special like tactile play out while parents can kind of relax and talk and drink a cup of coffee is something we really, really promote.
Thank you. Thank you. And Mr. Fleming, would you like to share a program or service that your library offers to support family engagement?
Okay, the one thing about libraries, right, is that we try not to reinvent the wheel, right? Sometimes if we have programs or services, we share with amongst libraries or colleagues. But some of what we try to do here too is to, in addition to some of the parent-child programs that Diana mentioned, we try to bring the family together. So we do family game night, family dinner and a movie. We do community garden programs that incorporate, parents to spend time with their kids and, socialize with other families. We do book cafes. We have a library bookmobile that actually, goes out to different outreach events, and we meet with families. We meet with and we try to match some of our programming to the needs of our families. And things change over time. So we as libraries have to be flexible with some of our programming so that it adapts to the needs and of families. So, but family engagement is very, very important, and we welcome all families, right? Because it's a part of the community.
Thank you. And so that information is on your calendar. Is there a way that people can subscribe and get notifications about events that are happening at the library as well? So I was asking about outreach and communication so that the community knows what's happening.
So we have, of course, library. We have the social media, the website, the word of mouth marketing. All types of email. We don't have a listserv, but we do try to get mass messages out to our partners And like I said, word of mouth messaging is or word of mouth marketing is a good tool to use because everyone doesn't have social media. Everyone's not always on the computers, right? Making sure that your information is out there in the community, whether it's partnerships, it's your community partners, school districts. Depending on what the programs are, whatever the services are, we try to gear it towards our residents, and we try to be in tune with where they're at. So, thank you.
Yeah, some might call me old school, but I'm still like a Facebook head. So I'm assuming there's a Facebook page and Instagram, and should people subscribe to those pages? That way they get notifications, yes?
Yes, they can social media, TikTok, right? We have some
Oh,
younger staff that are well versed in the TikTok, Instagram, X is that what they call it? So yeah, you can log on to the website, you can subscribe, you can follow us on any of the social media outlets, and platforms, and you can hear all the wonderful things that we're doing here in the city of Patterson, Passaic County.
thank you. And you mentioned a bookmobile.
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing a little bit more about that? Because it sounds like you're going outside of the library and into the community. How does that work?
Well, we just recently got a bookmobile right when COVID hit.
Mhm.
And I think that libraries have bookmobiles that actually go throughout communities and have stops and so forth. But one of the things that COVID allowed us to do was to build on our outreach. When people didn't want to come out, we went out to them. When people were going to, soup kitchens or they were going to get meals, we would meet them with our team. We kind of brought the library to our community, right? We have a very large community, and we do have a good good part of our population that's not served, that does not have a library in their area, and so we try to leverage that by utilizing our bookmobile to be in places, senior centers, daycare, school. We do school visits with our library bookmobile. It's a very, very heavy component of our summer reading, because we have various summer camps, and all types of organizations and agencies that serve summer programming to our kids, and we try to bring the library to add to that facet of their programming.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And Miss Price, um, I know that you work with educator and school services. I think I read that you are also described as the children's librarian. Can you share more about what that collaboration, that partnership with schools and that work that you're doing down in the Burlington County systems?
So Burlington County is a pretty big county. It's a pretty large place, and a lot of our schools are relatively spread out. There are 136 schools in Burlington County. And between our 8 branches, we have something called school liaisons. So there are different kinds of programs that, with the support of our director and administration, I set up so that we can make sure that we have contact with all 136. So it's quite a large undertaking, but it's also a lot of fun. Teachers, there are a lot of things that teachers really need help with and support with to make sure all of our kids in the county are getting the right information, support, education that they deserve. One of the many things that we have is also a bookmobile, and it's really great. It's so much fun to go out in and spend a day in the bookmobile. You get to talk to a lot of really interesting people and spend whole days at schools where you talk to every single class at the school. They'll each get like 30-45 minute time period to come out and pick a book, and you check it out for them. And it's a really special interaction. And even for the students who don't have full access library cards, one of my favorite things that I do is we have student e-access cards. So the school there's a spreadsheet. It's a large spreadsheet. They fill it out with student information, only school related student information, no private information. And we give them a digital access card so they can access all of our digital resources, all of our databases, including things like Libby, which is pretty great, means that if they can't get to a library, if there isn't a library near enough to them, or their parents don't have time to take them to the library, they can still receive the same level of access. And then as far as teachers go, we have all kinds of specially formed materials for them, classroom kits, activity kits, different things to supplement their programming for their classroom. So they can, it's a little bit of a weight off their shoulders. There's a lot of interaction between us back and forth. We go out for outreaches to take over whole classrooms for a day. Sometimes I think the most common thing that we do is we just go out to schools and we'll spend half a day teaching whatever class comes into the library about what libraries can offer for them and the different kinds of programs that we do. We do a lot of STEM-based programs for children. I am part of the youth services department, but I specialize in the tweens. So lots of personality there. There's a lot of different stuff to do, different things to cover. A lot of the time that's the age where they're getting really into like fandoms and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of extra fun. You can get really creative. I have a program based off of a series of unfortunate events. So yeah, sometimes I try and bring elements of that into our outreaches so that they don't feel like they're being gypped if they can't get to the library.
Great. Thank you. So it's National Reading Month. Would you like to share something that your library is doing this month that is coming up within the next couple of weeks that you would like to promote or
One of us.
Yes, go ahead.
I mean, we don't have anything even more specifically targeted towards reading, National Reading Month. Most things we do have some element of reading or literacy, but we're participating in New Jersey's Maker Day on the 21st. And so we have a whole day of scheduled different kinds of STEM programs, art programs, all planned out. I think there are 5 happening just in youth services.
Thank you. Thank you. And Mr. Fleming.
Well, I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, the same question.
Question. So we're right now gearing up for our summer program, our summer reading program. We're just starting to plan with the schools and trying to nail down to make sure the kids are registered before they leave school, right? But one program that we do have is what we call as a family book cafe, where we invite families as well as the kids, and I think my team, my community learning center team, they usually focus on 4 or 5 books. So the kids in these programs, they read the 4 or 5 books, and at the book cafe, we serve hot chocolate, and they get kids get prizes, and it's a really really family-driven program that we usually have it every quarter. So that's the next one is coming up in March. I think it's next Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you. And last question. I didn't hear you guys share. What are you reading right now? What's on your list?
Well, I usually have a director's book club, and we didn't meet last month, but I just started reading When I Was Puerto Rican by Esmeralda Santiago, and I actually literally just started that book yesterday, and I do a lot of driving, so that is an audiobook.
Thank you. Thank you. And Miss Price, what are you reading right now?
I just finished 2 books last night and this morning. I finished Raven Song last night by TJ Klune. So that one was just a little bit of fun. And then I finished Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barnes this morning. So some reader's advisory and some fun. So I'm on to my next hunt. I got to figure out what to read next. So maybe I'll take a suggestion from somebody who answered in the chat.
Thank you. And bonus question. If there's one thing that you wished people knew about libraries or librarians, what would that be?
Well, librarians are awesome. But I think that libraries have something for every resident in a city, right? Regardless of who you are, what your need is, there's always some kind of resource, some kind of a service that we provide that every person in a city can take advantage of.
Thank you. Miss Price.
I say this a lot, but it's something that I hear a lot when I tell people that I'm a librarian, which is that they wish that they could also just sit around and read all day for work. And that is not what we do. Books are a big part of our jobs. They're definitely would never deny. I get a lot of cool access to books, to new releases. But our jobs are much more service oriented. That's what we do. We're in a service position to our communities, to society. And if you ever have any questions you need answered and you don't know how to answer it, whether it's about taxes, which is happening right now, children's programming, or what to get your kid to read, we can answer it all, and we're here to help.
Thank you. I thank the both of you for taking the time to join us and share all of your knowledge and your insight. And certainly, I encourage all the participants to make sure that you fill out that survey that you get, because then you will have access to our Google Drive, and we're going to share a ton of great resources about libraries and library access and events. And so thank you once again. And now I'm going to hand it over to Lanisha to discuss the really important stuff of how to get a library card. Thank you.
So, as I said earlier, I love to read. And one of the things that I do is go to the library. So, I think both Diana and Corey talked about coming into the library, the types of materials and resources that are available. And the way you do that is by getting a library card. And so I'm going to try to walk you through the steps of how to do that. The first thing you do is to locate your local library. Depending on where you live, you might have, a main branch, and then you might have like branches in your neighborhood, or you might just have one library in the whole town. Whichever it is, go on the library website and find out where your closest library is. The next thing you do is you find out what documents you need to get the library card. More than likely, you're going to need ID. So whether you have a driver's license or a state ID, you take that along with proof of address, and you would take that to the library. But before you get to the library, sometimes, I know my local library, I can fill out the information online. So I can start the process of getting the library card on the website and then take those documents with me to pick up the library card so they can verify them. So if you can start the process online, complete the application online, and then go in person to the library. If you cannot start the process online, take the documents that you need and go visit your local library. Once you get there, you tell them you're here to get a library card. Literally, the process took me 3 minutes. I gave them my name. They looked up in the system and saw that I started the process. I showed them, I verified my documents with them, and they printed out my library card. If you have to do it in person, everything, it still shouldn't take that long because everything is digitalized. So you take everything there and you get your library card. Once you have your library card, then the librarian did walk me through, the website, how to sign up online and register my card. And once I have it, I have access to all of the resources that are available, not just at the Parsippany Library, but for the Morris County library system. So one of the best things that I did when I moved here was to get my library card. And I also got my son a library card as well. So he goes down to the kids area in the library and he looks around. They have so many resources for him. He checks out like kid packs and books and everything. And he uses his own card because I'm trying to show him to be responsible. And he will check out his own books and return his own books, because if he gets a fine, I don't want it on my card, I want it on his. So that is the way to go and get a library card. The library has so many services and resources that are available for its residents. You can get passes to museums. They also have the ability where you can lend out devices that you may need. You can do printing. I know a lot of people do not have printers in their homes anymore. So if you need to print something, you can go to the library. Diana mentioned now is tax season. And so they have tax experts sitting at the library that can help you with your taxes. If you need to get something notarized, you could typically go to the library. You can rent space at the library. I know sometimes I work from home and I get tired of working in my home office. I want to change the scenery. I go online and I rent a space at the library so that I can just have a change of scenery. So I can rent a space there just to do my work. They have different types of workshops, STEM workshops, community resource workshops, mental health workshops, yoga. They have yoga at the library. They have family fun days and author talks. I just got an email from my library to say that, reminder, tonight is silent reading club night, and come and read silently at the library. And they have not just for adults, but for kids. They also have job fairs. So there's a whole host of resources that are available for us at the library. So now let's talk about some unique and unexpected discoveries that we found out while we were preparing for this webinar about libraries in New Jersey. So the first tax-supported library was the Newark Public Library. Our largest library system in New Jersey is the Newark Public Library System. West Orange Library holds unique Edison materials. And I didn't know this, but some of our shore towns offer seasonal libraries right on the beach. Our early libraries preserved knowledge during wartime. And libraries don't just lend books. They have, like I mentioned, they have things like museum passes. They even rent out fishing rods. The Mount Tabor Library originated as a Methodist tent. Many libraries offer online historical collections, and the Jersey Cat connects libraries for easy borrowing. Some of our libraries have connections to the Underground Railroad, and the Princeton Library holds a vast collection of rare documents. And we were so happy to have Mr. Fleming here today, as he represents the Patterson Free Public Library, which is the state's first and oldest library. It was established in 1883. And next, let's talk a little bit about programs that the library has. So Alexis, who is our community resource specialist, she puts together these fabulous resource flyers. So after this webinar today, you'll be able to get access to this Enhance Your Library Experience resource checklist. This checklist has been divided by early childhood and elementary school, middle school, and high school. So there are different resources here based on your child's grade level, and we welcome your feedback in looking at this information, and let us know if it was helpful to you. So complete the survey at the end of the webinar, and you will get access to this free resource for you and your family and your community. And now I will turn it over to Jeanette.
Thank you, Lanisha. Now I get to highlight the summer 2025 library theme is Color Our World. And so this is the Collaborative Summer Library Program. It's a nonprofit organization that supports literacy, education, and science through summer reading events in public libraries across the US. And what we're going to do is we want to encourage you to be a part of that. We're going to put in the link. Because it's important to be part of the summer reading clubs. The New Jersey Summer Reading Program is coordinated by the New Jersey Statewide Summer Reading Committee. And through funding from the New Jersey State Library, the program encourages everyone of all ages. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay. And so some key points to remember. The New Jersey Summer Reading Program emphasizes reading for pleasure, and it also prevents summer learning loss. It's a collaborative effort between the state library and local libraries. The program aims to make reading fun and engaging for everyone. And to get the most accurate and up-to-date information on how the program works in your area, contact your local public library. So we're encouraging you to get to those local libraries because they are gems. Those are our hubs and our communities, and it costs absolutely nothing to visit the libraries. All right. Now, upcoming news and events. We always get excited because I feel every month our webinars just continue to elevate. Next month, we're really excited because we're going to focus on family math. And this webinar is presented by our partner, National Association for Family, School, and Community Engagement, as we refer to as NAFSCE. And they're going to be offering techniques for effective communication between educators and families, plus strategies for balancing academic expectations with family life. You'll have resources and activities that promote family involvement in education. So I encourage you to register today. I'll put the registration link in the chat for that webinar. Okay. And serving on groups and leading by convening. We're super excited because this is going to be an in-person event, which is literally 2 short weeks away. I can't believe how quickly time is going by. And this is going to be on March 25th. We'll have breakfast and lunch will be provided. The summit is from 10 to 2 p.m. You're going to have 2 learning tracks to choose from. And I'm going to walk you through just a little bit of how that works. You'll have a choice. You either can select serving on groups. Now that is an interactive hands-on train the trainer workshop. So it's going to provide the audience, those participants, information, tools, and resources to develop and implement policy, leadership development, how to be effective on advisory groups and task forces. So if you're that parent or community member, or you're someone from the community-based organization, Family Success Center, you have advisory boards, and you want to have someone learn so that you can train that out in your center and provide those tools, that would be a good track to register for. Now, the other track is leading by convening, and that's a blueprint for authentic engagement. And that's a full day learning workshop, as the serving on groups is as well. And that's about shaping traditional meetings and a new way of focusing on content, like building relationships. You'll have tools, activities. There's 4 levels of interaction: informing, networking, collaborating, and transforming. This is really great, especially for those families who perhaps, or parent leaders who want to get involved on an advisory group but don't really know how do I even do that? How do we become a part of that? Maybe we have some parents in our audience today. Maybe you sit on a CPAD group, Special Education Parent Advisory Group. That's a great learning track for you because you'll get the tools and how to moderate and facilitate those discussions at your meeting. Where do you start? So that's a really good one. They're both great. It's just a matter of what you feel as a community leader, as a parent leader, what you feel you're going to gain the most. There's no wrong track that you would register for, but keep in mind that when you register for the one track, it has to be that track. So, of course, our team is going to be there and we will have a table of our resources and a lot of, I don't know about you, I'm very old school. I love hands-on materials. I'm a nerd that way. I put them in books. I put them in like plastic covers. I like things tangible that I can feel, that I can touch. So we'll have a lot of the resources that you've been privy to our webinars. We'll have that in a physical form so that you can have them to share out maybe in your community or with your friends. So with that said, I encourage you to register for both events because I tell you, knowledge is power. And when you get to these events, not only are you going to learn more, but you have opportunities to expand yourself. And we want to be expanders. We always want to be in a growth space. And this concludes the portion of our webinar today. We want to give you a warm thank you for joining us. We invite you to please scan the QR code, or we'll put the link in the chat, and please fill out our survey. It is very vital for us to get your insight so we can continue delivering webinars to you and webinars that matter. And we do read through all our feedback because we want this to be a collective effort with our community so that we're lifting our communities. If you also require a certificate just for participating in our webinar, just choose either yes or no in the survey, and Alexis will get that to you right away. But remember, when you complete the survey, you'll have access to all the wonderful tools and resources that were highlighted in our webinar today. And we hope that you join us again next month. We're really excited for what's coming. And again, thank you for being here with us. Until next time.